morning, Year 3. Welcome to Tuesday's English lesson. And today we are going to be writing a conversation between Wangari, Mama Miti, and one of the women who comes to visit her. So I'm going to read you some of the book again. I know you've already heard bits of it. And then I will explain what today's lesson is all about. Okay, so our learning objective is I can make predictions about a story and use my predictions to plan my writing. Now, today's lesson is a two-part lesson, really. So tomorrow's lesson is going to be based on what we do in today's lesson, okay? So you're going to be writing a conversation, and then tomorrow we're going to use that conversation and expand it and turn it into paragraphs, okay? And today we are also going to be revisiting inverted commas. We've done a lot of work on this, so hopefully you'll remember all of the rules that are involved when we use inverted commas or speech marks in our writing. And yeah, so that's today's lesson, okay? So I'm going to put some pictures up for you to look at whilst I read, because I don't think you'll be able to see them that clearly, but I will read from this page, when the first woman comes to visit Mama Miti. When Wangari grew up, she worked in the city, but she always remembered her roots. She planted trees in her backyard and sat under them to refresh her body and spirit. One day, a poor woman came from the Western Valley to see the wise Wangari. Her children peeked out from behind her at the smiling woman in the bright blue cloth with squiggles all the way through it, like tadpoles squirming in a pool. "I have too little food to feed my family," said the poor woman. "There is no longer a job for me in the timber mill, and I have no other skills. What can I do?" Wangari took the woman's hands and turned them over. She took the children's hands one by one. "These are strong hands. Here are the seedlings of the Maburi Muri tree. Plant them, plant as many as you can, and eat the berries. Thaya Nyumba, peace, my people." The woman and her children returned home and planted the trees with their strong hands, one by one. In the years to come, when the flowering season was over, the family ate the shiny round fruits. They shared with their neighbours who carried home the seeds, planted them, and grew their own Maburi Muri trees. Okay, now I'm just going to show you this picture. I'm not going to read this bit yet, because what you are going to do today is recreate a conversation. So just like the bit of the book that I've read now, there was a conversation between the woman who came to visit Wangari and what Wangari was saying to this woman to help her, okay? So I want you to look at this picture and think about why this woman might be coming to see Wangari, okay? So this is the next person that goes and visits her. What do you think she's come for? So look at this picture. She's got two daughters with her. They all look like they are carrying sticks. So that might give us an indication and might help us think about what the reason is and why she's coming to see Wangari and what she needs her help with. And I want you to think about what this woman might be feeling, and also what her daughters might be feeling, what they're thinking, okay? I imagine they've come obviously for a reason. So they probably are expecting help, or they're hoping for some help. Maybe they're worried that Wangari won't be able to help her. Maybe they've traveled a long way, so they might be tired from their journey. They must have heard of her through someone, and they must have traveled all the way to see if Wangari can help with their problem. Now, what you're going to do today is write the conversation that you think is going to happen. I'm not going to read it to you, because I want you to use those pictures and use your skills, your prediction skills, to come up with this own conversation. Now, there isn't a right or wrong answer for this, and you'll find out tomorrow the reason that she went to visit Wangari. But I want you to think about, looking at this picture, why you think this woman has come to visit Wangari. I think the sticks, the twigs are probably a very good indication. Maybe they don't have many trees left to cut down the sticks and the branches. Maybe they need the branches to keep warm, for fire to keep warm, or to cook with. And it looks like her children are having to help her collect the firewood as well, if it is for firewood, okay? So maybe that is one of the reasons why she has come to get help from Wangari. So if you wanted to, you could almost recreate this scene with a parent in your house or a sibling in your house, or if you were doing this on your own, I just want you to imagine this scene unfolding in your head, okay? What is this woman going to say to Wangari? And what is Wangari going to say in response to this woman, okay? Remember, the first woman went because she needed help because they didn't have any food, okay? So this woman said, I have too little food to feed my family, said the poor woman. There is no longer a job for me in the timber mill, and I have no other skills. What can I do? So then Wangari replied, and she took the woman's hands and she said, these are strong hands. Here are the seedlings of the Maburi Muri tree. Plant them, plant as many as you can, and eat the berries. So the first woman that went to see Wangari had the problem of no food to feed her family. So Wangari gave her seeds to then plant a tree in which they could eat the berries with. So that was the conversation between those two women. So today you're doing a conversation between the next woman that's come to visit, and you're predicting and or not retelling because we don't know it yet. You're going to write out the conversation between the two of them. But before we do that, we need to try and remember all of the rules that are involved when using speech in writing, okay? There are 4 rules. So the first one, I want you to see if you can remember them. Maybe pause the video and write them down, or maybe tell your parent or your sibling if they're with you in the room. So, for each new person that speaks, you must start a new line, okay? So you mustn't carry on the same line. Even if you've got space on your line, you need to start a new line when a new person speaks. You must use inverted commas at the start and at the end of the speech, okay? Remember, those are your inverted commas, your speech marks. So that's just when somebody's talking. Don't put it after your reporting clause, just when somebody's talking, okay? You must start the speech with a capital letter, and you need to end it with punctuation. So before you close your speech mark, you need to use punctuation. So it might be full stop, capital letter, comma, question mark, and then you can use your inverted commas to close your speech. And we end with a reporting clause. So that is how the person said it. So they might have yelled or whispered or shouted, or replied or asked, okay? Try and be creative today and think of other words for said, okay? Said is a bit boring. There are so many other words that we can use. So try and use reporting clauses, but not said. And remember, you put your speech marks before your reporting clause, because the person isn't saying, replied Wangari. They're just saying what they're actually saying, okay? So here is an example of what you're going to be doing today. Remember, you're writing a conversation. And I want you to look out for those rules that we've just looked at and see if they're included in all of this. Wangari, I've heard about you and I'm hoping that you can help me. So you'll see here, we've opened and closed our speech. And we've got our question mark here. So we've got our punctuation before we close our speech. Then we've got our reporting clause. Ask the woman. New line. Tell me your problem. Punctuation in between. Replied Wangari. My daughters and I can't find any wood which we can use to make a fire. We have to walk for hours every day. Without firewood, we cannot cook or keep warm. Can you help us? Cried the woman. We've got our reporting clause. We've got our inverted commas and our punctuation before we close. Here are the seeds for a tree. When it grows, you can use the wood for fires. Plant as many trees as you can, Wangari said calmly. So if you want to challenge yourself, you might want to put some adverbs in your reporting clause to say how that person is saying it. Oh, thank you, Wangari, gasped the woman. Thaya Nyimba, whispered Wangari. Okay, so that is what you are going to be doing today. Now, there is a worksheet saved in today's lesson. It's up to you whether or not you use that. There might not be enough space. So you can use that if you want to, or you can write it if you've got a home learning book at home, or if you've got a notepad, you might want to write it in there instead of the sheet. It's completely up to you how you do it. But I want you to focus on the rules that we need in speech, those 4 rules, okay? Your inverted commas, your punctuation before you close it, your reporting clause, capital letter at the start, and then the 5th one actually, new line for new person, okay? So that is what you're doing today. Hopefully that all makes sense. If you need to go back and watch any of the video again because you're unsure of some bits, feel free to do that. And remember that what you do today is going to really help you in tomorrow's lesson, okay? So you're going to be using some of this conversation today in tomorrow's lesson. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that has all made sense. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you back here tomorrow for English.